Well, hello there.
Olas, olas.
How's
How's
everyone
everybody?
doing? Sorry, we were having a little bit of technical trouble. You know what I think it is. Did your computer do make you force you to update to Windows 11 at some point?
No.
Oh, well, because ever since mine, has like randomly shit'll stop working. It's just annoying.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
At this point it just is what it is. But hello, kitties. How are you? What's
How's
going
everyone doing
on?
today? What's happening? What's going on? What's popping?
Everybody's doing good, I hope.
Well, I see Lola. Lola had the decency to join at 7:46. And
Yes,
Eccentric is
mamas.
here. Hey, Eccentric.
Yes. What's going on? Hey, eccentric. What's going on, boo?
All I know is that I am ready for this weekend to be here and be gone.
There's a piece of me that is on that same page. And it's the logistics that's the part that's really pissing me off. And it's not a piss off, but it's just kind of like this. It's like it's just ugh.
Yeah. I'm not annoyed. I'm just like, it's going to be a lot. And I have made commitments to be outside again.
Well, listen, because bitch, we outside tonight.
Joshua calling from California.
You in Long Beach?
Mhm.
What?
But yeah, so I'm like, okay, girls, here's what we're going to do. And so our schedule starts tomorrow night with going to see Monet and Bob at Sibling Rivalry. And then in terms of where we could go afterwards, maybe this will be a good time for me to finally make it to Thirst.
Sounds about right. I mean, I've heard good things about it. I just haven't been myself. But I have a feeling that when I
I've
get there
not
and be
been
like,
because
but I have a feeling when I get there and be like, I've been here before. It ain't too. Some of these they rename it,
right,
rebrand. I'm
right.
like,
I mean, it's unlikely. It's just a club, so it's not like it's going
yeah.
to be, a life changing event.
Well, yeah, I agree. That I definitely agree. But I'm still looking. I think I'm looking forward to that to most because I feel like there's a lot of similarities between Bob and Monet's podcast and their relationship, and with a lot of people. So you and I, me and the best friend, me and the brother, like we always have these moments, me and that, like we have these moments where we kind of go back and forth with shit, and that's the comedy for me. And the comedy is the gold, and the comedy is not even anything that's specific. It's just the laughter between the two. And that's the part that is really that I get excited about.
Yes. And
So,
then Friday, I'm not going anywhere in particular. I'm just supposed to be picking up elimination from the airport. I was like, bitch, why are you coming in at 10:45 p.m.?
listen, you make what you got to make, do what you got to do, and come on in. And
But
that's what.
listen, if that's the flight that gets you here for free, then that's the flight that you take.
Well,
So,
then there's that. Then there's that. So,
so
yeah,
it's
I
gonna be
mean,
all good. And then Saturday, of course, is the parade. And then Saturday evening is technically the Pride Festival.
yeah,
Part.
the festival's going on. Then there's some performances, but then that's between 2 different days, and yeah, it's
Right.
a lot
So
going on.
there are two performances. There is the Saturday, excuse me, the Saturday evening performance, and then the Sunday evening performance. But Scrappy was supposed to send out an email because there is apparently a rally Sunday morning at the Lincoln Memorial starting at 9:30 that goes to 1. Is going to start at the Lincoln Memorial and end at the festival. But then, so I'm gonna stay there at the rally for a good long minute. Then I got a dip for brunch because it's Dylan's birthday today. So happy birthday, Dylan!
Wait, is it the fourth or the fifth? I thought it was, but
No,
okay. Wait,
today is their birthday, and they're having a brunch soiree at on Sunday.
Happy birthday. Right, I'm gonna combine it, make it.
You know, Vanessa, what was her name?
Vesta Williams.
Vesta Williams would be proud.
Happy birthday. We thought it should have been me.
Right.
It'll be
Your birthday is a week from Saturday, so
yeah, in 10 more days. Happy birthday. So that's what we're doing.
So so I will definitely be outside this coming weekend.
But so between Saturday and Sunday, there's multiple things in multiple stages and a whole bunch of stuff going on. And the good thing is on Saturday is when Cynthia Erivo performs. But then I'm kind of pissed off because I really
on Sunday.
No, Doechie's on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Doechie is on Sunday. So I want to go to both. And since we'll be marching in the parade, we'll be right there. So what we're going to do is do our best linebacker shit and be like, excuse me.
And the other part of all this is, listen, I really want to be there on a Sunday to see. I really want to be there. I want to experience Cynthia Erivo. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I love her music and all that other stuff. No, I just like her voice, like what I've heard her sing. Do I still have some wholesome residual stuff in my mind for stuff that I think she said and it's kind of a little weird and a little flunky? Okay, whatever. But I do
too. Just to be clear, I do too.
But I'm gonna go ahead and be there and support.
But I'm gonna just let it slide. I'm gonna leave it alone.
I'm gonna go ahead and support because this is a bigger issue. It's a bigger picture. Right. But Doechie, I'm kind of mad I got to come back the next day and go back to see Doechie, and she's not going to be coming on. I think that's the evening part, like 6 or 7 on Saturday.
Well, girl, that's why I feel perfectly fine in going to brunch, enjoying myself, and then coming back to the festival around 3 or 4, and it's still going to be several hours. So, bitch, if I could find,
Well, so I
do have a fold-up chair.
Oh, I have mine in my car with me all the time. What are we talking about? What's up?
And then, because I don't need to be close up. I mean, I could be sitting up by the Canadian embassy somewhere on a perch.
I am not that pressed about being up on the front. Like that ain't my thing. I ain't got to be up in the front. I ain't got to be up in the front. I ain't got to do all that.
Because Monday is still a school day, so I can't be out late, especially if I've been outside all weekend. And the reason I was able to be outside week before last was because I knew Monday was a holiday and I could recuperate from my outsideness.
Well, I decided to go ahead and take that time off because at the end of this month.
Yeah,
we have some. I'm saying I have some time I need to take off, before the end of the year. So it's either use or lose. And so guess what? Well,
I'm already going to be off Thursday and Friday because I'm headed to Atlanta because I am teaching 2 classes for Self as well as a judge in the Self, which is Southeast Leatherfest in their contest. So.
Indeed. It's going to be, listen, this whole month is going to be, I think today is the only day I haven't really been, well, I've been outside, let me be clear, because it was a beautiful day outside today. Beautiful day. But I haven't been outside. But again, the day's still young. I still got time to be outside. Like even when the show's over, I got time to be outside for a couple minutes.
I mean, you could, but bitch, I'm inside now, so I'm good.
Well, I mean, this is where we at this particular point.
And summer has finally decided to start summering. So maybe, this ace, and I was walking around outside today, bitch, I got up at 6, I got up at 6. And then I set my, I have a 15-minute snooze. So I snoozed until 6:45. And then I got up and rushed through getting everything done that I needed to do and then got out the house. But baby, I am tired. So I will be sitting in this house eating. Well, I probably won't eat anymore. I made some peach butter swim biscuits.
Peach butter swim biscuits. Okay.
They got little chunks of peach all up and through them, with a little syrup on them. There's plenty if you want to come through and grab a piece. It makes a 9x13 pan.
So, I mean, what time did you say you was going to go to
bed? Oh, no, not tonight. You can come by this weekend when elimination is here.
You think there's going to be some biscuits left when the elimination get here?
Bitch, it is a 9x13 pan that I just made last night at 10 o'clock p.m.
I'm trying to understand what the confusion is.
She don't weigh but $1.05. She ain't gonna eat all them biscuits. You know, she trying to stay skinny for all that leather she got to fit into. Whereas all my leather's fat. So
you said all my leather's fat. I hate you right now. Oh, good God.
Perfectly good.
Good God. Good God.
So how was the week?
Man, listen, the week was weekend. And not even in a bad way, but
Bama's were Bama-ing.
Huh?
Bama's were Bama-ing.
Basically. But it was good though. Like I mean, I've been in this space of like, bitch, we outside tonight. Like I'm like happy to be outside. Like I'm, you know, so I'm having a good time just being outside. And I mean, it's been good. I don't really have too many complaints. I mean, work has been cool. Had my little 101, got through that without, feeling like I wanted to choke a bitch. My direct report has been cool. The staff has been cool. Like, I don't really feel like I got to choke a bitch, not yet. I'm probably speaking, hopefully I'm not speaking too soon, but right now, I mean, I feel good. We even had a little moment today where, it was a conversation about feelings that happened really quickly. And it really wasn't about feelings, but it was kind of like, why is it that? And I was like, we can talk about it. Let's talk about it. And, she said, well, I just need you not to make any faces or promises. I was like, I can't promise you I'm not going to make a face, but will I listen to you? Absolutely. I was like, and sure enough, laptop froze up for some reason. So then she sent me a screenshot of my face during this. And I was just like, so it is what it is. But all in all, it's been good. I really don't have too many complaints. Was able to talk to my mom for her birthday finally.
Happy birthday, Mom. How's she doing?
She's listen, she is good. She is good. And the part where I feel like she's good, because when I get on the phone with her and when I'm able to laugh with her, there's certain things that she does where I can tell she's in a good mood. And she's in a good mood, but she was occupied though. She was trying to get back to whatever she was doing because she wanted to get off the phone.
Like, okay, this is lovely talking to you, but I got to go.
Like, it was like, and I was just kind of like, well, damn, Mom. I'm like, okay, well, so it was cool, but I had a little.
Yeah, happy birthday. I got you. Thank you. I love you. You love me. I love you. We love each other. Thank you. Okay, gotta go. Bye.
Had a little friction with my aunt about just not, well, I should say friction, but I had a moment where I was trying to understand. And I kind of had to let it go. I had to talk to some peoples and I had to let it go. Spiller Boy was on my phone and I was like, let me just bring it down for a minute. And, but it was good. Karaoke has been great. I've been laughing and joking at that. I have been called hood more times this week than I have in my life.
Really?
I'm gonna go ahead and let that one slide. I'm gonna let that one just slide. Because it was cute though. It was cute.
That is what you call passive aggression.
It was cute, the way it was cute, but I'm gonna let it slide, but it was cute. But I was called hood, I guess, for some of my song choices, and I was like having a moment. Because listen, I don't care what you say, and I think maybe it's just our age bracket, but there's certain songs that come on that was in like the 90s and 2000s that baby I gotta rock to. And baby MJB,
such as
when MJB I Can Love You comes on, and Lil Kim gets to her part.
Exactly, eccentric.
I told you twice.
Exactly, eccentric.
That's what we doing, eccentric. Eccentric. That's what we doing, eccentric. Okay. Okay. But as I was saying,
I mean,
so
like
with
you just
MJB,
are. I mean, really, like just this week. I mean, like, wow, that's a lot. That is a lot of times to be called hood.
I didn't say the specific amount of times. I just said I've been called more this week than I have ever had.
Right. And so I'm saying by way of shade that you've been called hood a lot of times before. So therefore, it must have been a lot of times in this past week if it exceeds all the other times in your life.
So I'm gonna go ahead and ignore that. But like I said, when Lil Kim comes in and she want to hit her little piece, I was like, "What?" And you know, I ain't really
like that. Some pop wasn't hood in and of itself.
I listen. It's all good enough. Listen, can I get some? Is it? Where's? Listen, where's my fam at? Is Sushi? Is Sushi? Are you out there? Kebab is looking for you. Sushi, you out there? But yeah, it's been good though. Like I've been having a good time. I've just been really being in the moment and just paying attention to shit. Like when it's
I know that feeling. It just feels like it's important, with my sister's death and everything, to just like, could I stay home? Could I stay in the house? But to what end? Now, girl, I'm not gonna be outside as much as hood rats like you. But I mean, I'll be outside a little bit.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. Greg, what's going on? Good to see you, Greg. Glad you were in town, boo boo. I hope you got situated and your move is all taken care of and you reasonably settled in. But it was good to see you, baby. But yeah, it was, so the bar night was cute. The time spent out was cute. Just really had a decent weekend. Had a decent week, and it's been really good. I really don't have too many things to say, negative. But like I said, it's just more so about in that moment when I'm having a good time, just really fucking plugging in and just paying attention to, like, you're having a good time, so just enjoy it. Like, this is where we are. And so, yeah, it's just been one of those things for me, work wise, personal wise, all types of stuff. I've been getting a couple of little messenger messages and things, and just a whole bunch of stuff, having conversations and all different types. So I'm just excited, just a little excited, just conversations.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Little pictures here and there, and just little.
Shantae got a man at home?
No, Shantae don't have a man. But Shantae can have a good conversation, so I'm good with that. I'm good with it. I'm good with the conversation. So, but yeah, so it's been pretty good. So I don't really have too many complaints. So for me, that's good.
Good.
But how about for you?
Well,
and I'm listening. My phone is going down. I'm grabbing my cords on the other side of the camera. But keep talking. Keep talking.
Well, so Friday, the guy at the office that is doing, there are a lot of people who are doing terrible jobs, but the guy at work that's doing the terriblest job messaged me and was like, "Hey, I want to come down for we had a meeting today on site." And he was like, "Hey, I want to come down for the meeting, but I need travel reimbursement." And I'm like, "Excuse me?
Why do you need travel reimbursement? You work
and
for
I'm like, why would you need travel reimbursement? The project is in the station. Oh, well, I need to rent a car and, whatever. I was like, but you live in Philadelphia. There's a train station in Philadelphia. You take the train station from Philadelphia to DC. And he said, I have personal. Now, listen. These were his words. I have personal commitments that prevent me from taking the train on Wednesday, which was this morning. Now, this was last Friday. And I'm saying to, my work buddy, my Jamaican friend, who I refer to, because we be talking, in the background.
Is this who I ran into at the Dunkin'?
Yes, he told me he
Okay.
ran into you. Yes.
Right.
So I'm like, but so that doesn't make any sense. So you're saying that you have personal commitments that prevent you from taking the train on Wednesday morning. So that means you have something's going on in your life that means that you can't take the train on Wednesday, but you can miss that commitment by driving down and staying in a hotel for a 2-hour meeting? No.
Listen, you know what that sounds like to me? I'm not.
Stunt queen. Stunt queen. Yeah, I was like, but I was like, you know
Because
what? Here's the thing. This isn't my money. I don't. I made it clear that if I was in charge of this project, there's no way in creation that, first of all, your personal whatever is not Amtrak's problem at all.
that
At
part,
all. It's not the railroad's issue at all.
that
If
part.
we tell you there's a meeting on Wednesday and you are the project manager, you need to get your ass there. And it's like when I worked with for Redacted Airlines, that's like, we have a meeting in Newark, but I can't fly to Newark, which is essentially a free trip. It's not technically free. There's like a cost to it, but if there's seats on the plane, it's,
It's a
you're
damn
all
free
right.
trip.
But what is absolutely not free is a hotel and a rental car and gas. No, ma'am. So that was that. But anyway, I told him no. My boss told him no. But the person that owns the money initially said yes. But then we came back and I was like, I said no because when I had to go to Illinois a couple of weeks ago, that shit had to go all the way up to the fucking CFO because we in a resource constrained environment. So everybody's going to look at you crazy for even suggesting that you couldn't hop on the train. No, girl. Mm-mm. And as far as I know, he was walking around fine. So it's not like he had some sort of impediment that kept him from getting on the train. But ultimately, it's none of my affair. He didn't show up for the meeting. All right. So then,
I mean,
as we noted, our buddy Greg was here for the weekend. We had
yes.
a cute little brunch on Sunday at Medium Rare.
I'm sorry. There was a brunch.
Here we go with this bullshit.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. So Greg, bring your hind parts up in here, Greg. So once again, you came into the city. You did hang out with me. We did take pictures. Yes, we did. We chatted in that bar. We even had a good conversation about jars. Jars. We even had this conversation with someone else that I knew because they were saying that they were all full, but they would find a jar for you. I remember us having this conversation. And now on this Wednesday, June the 4th, on this 8:33 p.m. on this internet of the BGKH show, I'm now hearing from my co-host that you had a brunch.
And then after brunch, we had coffee at this spot next door. By the way, the brunch was cute. They don't have a lot of choices on the brunch menu at Medium Rare, but the price includes all you can drink mimosas, Bloody Marys, or screwdrivers. And so, baby, I was a little twisted. Uh-oh. Yes, Greg, I am. He's texting me. Yes, Greg, I am letting you take the blame. It is all your fault. Yes, it is. I'm not going to mention that you said, "Oh, you can invite the Epic too," and that I totally forgot to mention it to Epic. So yes, I am letting you take the fall. So,
Greg, I'm putting you on mute for the rest of this show.
Don't do it because last time we tried to do that, we banned someone
Listen,
from
I'm
the
not
show.
touching your thing. I'm putting Greg on mute. I'm putting you on mute.
And then, Pup Frankie invited us to his chateau, new chateau with him and his pup. Uh, he got a cute spot over in Alexandria. I actually thought of you and best friend, so I will get you the details for the spot that he lives in. He has a 2 bedroom, 2 bath apartment. It was like $2,100. So I'm
How quaint
imagining
that
that the
you all,
1 bedroom is less than that.
how quaint that you all were able to look at a new apartment. How quaint.
We were not looking at new apartments. We were invited to a housewarming. It was his first function. So we walked in, right? And you know how the puppy is. The puppy is a little ADHD. Well, both of them are a little ADHD, which is cute. So Cortez, Pup Frankie had invited me and Greg because that was his friend. And then the pup invited 3 friends. And so when we,
He
as we were
invited 3 friends or
three,
3 friends.
sorry, he
Okay.
invited 3 friends. My bad.
Okay.
And as we were getting there, the pup was getting up. He was taking off his shorts and in these gold lame like trunks that he had on. And we told Pup Frankie that we were there, and he was like, I told him where we parked. He was like, no, you can't park there. So let me go back down with you to park. And then as we were getting on the elevator, 2 of the 3 friends that the pup invited were like, we need to move our car too. And so me and Pup Frankie park, and we getting back on the elevator. And the other 2 guys zoom around us, and apparently they had called the pup because I don't know what the pup had told them was going to happen at the function, but they was uncomfortable with what they were guggles. They were gay muggles. So they were not ready for the kids to be coming. They were not ready for an apartment living room filled with dildos and artistic paintings of Pup Frankie's butthole and all that kind of shit. So I don't think that they were quite ready for all of that. But those of us that remained, the pup's other friend, me and Greg and Pup Frankie, had a lovely time partying and bullshitting for a couple of hours. So that was fun.
I am popping my gum that I do not have in my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what you hood bitches do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And, and then, so of course, Saturday night we had the bar night, which was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And well, neither one of them were vanilla. They were definitely vanilla extracts. And
Not
one of them I
vanilla
think had
extracts.
some unfortunate facial surgeries that I was going to leave alone because I had just met that person.
I
But
beg your pardon?
he either he just had something about his bone structure was interesting. I'll just put it that way. Topped off with an unfortunate, very deep tan that appeared to be spray applied. So I'm just gonna leave it all at that.
This sounds like I probably wouldn't have been a good thing. It probably would have been a good thing for me to be there because I'd have
No,
been
because it got a little shenanigan-y.
like, okay, all right, well,
Yeah.
okay. All right, well, all right.
Then Tuesday, I had a date from Recon.
Bitch, that text message, I said, what the fuck? I was like, okay.
So he's a kid because he's only 29 years old, but he is 6'5". Yes, he is tall and slim.
All legs and arms.
Mm-hmm. He is the very definition of DWT.
Oh.
Yes. That's one of my things. I like that. And he let me do all kinds of unspeakable things to him and wanted more. What was
Okay.
supposed to be like, maybe a 45-minute meet and greet turned into 4 hours. Yeah, because he got there around 2 and didn't leave until like 6. And I was not mad that he stayed that long. Because at some point you're like, okay, girl, you can leave now. But we had a lovely time, so we'll definitely be seeing him again.
Okay. Well, I
And
mean,
then, today at work, more of the bullshit. So we are, the railroad is opening some new stations in the deep south. And
new stations or like revamped stations?
new stations, new
Wow.
service along some existing routes. And so I have been, voluntold that I got to go down, and I'm like, girl,
I find it amazing that I find it amazing in this day and age that there's not a way to stop at almost like every other city or like every city in some way, shape, or form. And so
I
the
mean, you
fact that you're
could, but if
saying,
you stop at every little hamlet along the way, the trip would last forever.
right, no, but
So,
what I'm saying is, it just seems odd in some weird way that it's a new station. Like, I don't know.
well,
I'm
they're
just,
just, well,
BGKH town never had a train station, but you got to go to the DC train
but
station to
it's
get the
passing
BGKH.
through BGKH town, and they're just putting a stop in. So
Right.
those aren't manned. They're just putting a man station. One at one end is already a major stop, and they're just putting it at the other. But I was just not jazzed up about going to Mississippi and Alabama in the summer to take a look at these joints. So I probably have to do that later this month. So
Well, I mean, but won't you get to see some of your family if you decide to see any of them?
not where they are in Alabama. I would
Oh,
be, yeah.
okay.
I'm there for work too, so it's several hours away. So I'm not, no.
Okay. Well, that works.
And I'm not staying over the weekend. It's not it is, the city in Alabama is actually a vacation destination, but I'm not trying to vacation there. So
I mean, it might be full of some,
no. I'm sorry.
people just chopped it at the knees, like,
Exactly. I am going to go. I am going to stay in whatever little hotel I need to stay in. Will I get on Sniffies? Maybe.
Lies. You talking about maybe lies, bitch? You're gonna be on Snippets just to be like, let me see what's out here, just so I can see what it
Let's
is.
see what it's giving, because I got to report back to the super fans.
Be like, what it is, ho? What's up? Is there Sniffy in my room and get some bud?
Yep.
What's going on? But
So,
okay.
Greg, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a goddamn minute. I don't appreciate
I don't know
the
what we're talking about because that person's on mute. They're on mute.
So, but yeah, so that's how my life has been. I am looking forward. I know I said, I'm looking forward to it and to it being over, but DC, we have Capitol Pride every year, this first Saturday in June. But this year it's World Pride, which moves around to different cities around the world.
Yep.
And so this year, Capitol Pride has been replaced with World Pride, and they're expecting a lot of people to show up. Yep. And I just think I have been to every Pride parade since 2005 because I think it's important to be in that number, because our rights are under threat. I mean,
every day.
every day. I remember even though even though Shantae did not have a man at the time, I still remember the feeling of joy and excitement when gay marriage was legalized. But we could potentially see that reversed now. And what does that mean for all of the people who have gotten married? And
Yep.
they're already trying to roll back trans rights. And while I am not trying to dead name anyone, you know, in those people's eyes, if a trans woman marries a man, this is not how I feel. This is how the administration feels.
Mm-hmm.
That is two dudes that got married. And if they invalidate gay marriage, I guarantee you marriages between trans people and cisgender people will be considered invalid because that will be no longer, because trans men are men and trans women are women, but in the eyes of this government, trans women are men and trans men are women. And
Yep.
so if a trans woman marries a man, that's two dudes. And if a trans man marries a woman, that's two women
Yeah.
that got married. And I guarantee you that they will attempt to try to invalidate those marriages as well. So this in the 50s, this is in the 60s. We aren't yet, at least, at a point where we are being hosed or whatever. So all we have to do is go out and march in relative safety or be in the crowd. And so
Show the
that
fuck up. That's
show
what
the
it is.
fuck up.
It's
It's
show the fuck up.
critically important to me to show up and be in that number. So, you know, even if you aren't coming to DC for World Pride, if there is a Pride parade in your town, be in it, either as a participant in the show in the parade as a marcher, or as someone that is in the crowd as a celebrant. There is strength and safety in numbers. It's
Absolutely.
also an organizing principle. You know, these are how things happen. I mean, when people are like, oh, well, think about all of the people who didn't say that in 1963 for the March on Washington. These are our rights, and we can't get too comfortable because we can see that those rights can be taken away at any minute.
Listen, it is, and the sad part is the dismantling of this is happening right before our eyes. These bills and
Right.
legislations that have been submitted and have been passed and are trying to be passed at this particular point. They are waiting to slip all of these things that are human rights, as far as I am concerned, and make them invalid. And because I sit at this intersectionality of black and gay and fat and white hair and brown skin and male and like all these different things, baby, I need to show up. I need to show up and show my face. And I just because all of those things affect me, because all of those things where everything meets, everything crosses, everything passes is what makes me human. So
Yeah.
it's the human rights part for me, because I think I've always, even as a kid, I was always kind of like, I was bad at, I'm gonna say bad at talking about people, because I always kind of talked about people. But at the end of the day, I realized if them people ain't bothering me, why the hell am I bothering them? Like I kind of realized
Right.
that early on, and it just kind of carried into an adulthood. It's like, maybe leave them people alone. Like I might talk about them and say something like, "Oh, it's not my thing," but then after a while, it's like, you know what? They ain't even asked me my opinion. Why am I volunteering? Why am I volunteering anything? So again, over time comes growth and knowledge. But at the root of it is just let people be with who and whatever the fuck they are. They're human. If they're not bothering you, just go on about your business. But I definitely gonna show up because it is my business, because I'm human. So
Yes. So yeah.
the
So
hoses. Well, and the other part of this too is when we start talking about the hoses and dogs and all that type of stuff. We're not that far away from we're not even generations of because I was sharing with you the other day that, you know, my mom originally born in Savannah, Georgia. And every summer, my grandmother would send them down to Georgia for the summer. And I remember my mother telling me how she was probably about like 14, 15, 16, somewhere around that age. And she was saying how the one of the last times she went down there, she wound up going to a Woolworth's or McCrory's or whatever, and sat at the counter. And she said she was scared as shit. My mother was like, I was scared as shit. They're behind there with these crazy people. But she did it. And so I feel like if Mary Alice can get her ass up there and stand up and do some shit, then baby, listen, I am genetically programmed to have the same DNA. And I'm going to sit and do the same thing. Like, I'm going to show up. If we get to the dogs and we get to the hoses and all that type of stuff, baby, I don't want to feel like I didn't have an input in this. I don't want to feel like I didn't make a mark. I don't want to feel like I didn't cause a speed bump or a problem for somebody not to not treat me like I'm not human. So yeah, I don't know. I can stay on the soapbox for a minute and start talking about it I get a little emotional when I think about it at this point, but I'm gonna let that part go. But show the fuck up. That's all we asking. Show the fuck up.
Right.
So,
all right.
But what's going on in Tickety Talks land? We got some news.
We do.
Bro, what is your problem, bro? I was just trying to grab that. Okay, I was trying to grab that, son.
You should have went around, asked me to move or something.
Okay, Big Lip, you need to watch
watch yourself, bro.
No, watch yourself. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
I'm gonna walk off.
You like a kid, I'm gonna let you make it.
All right, 4-Eye Monster, you need to stop it.
Now, when you turn 18, you can do what the hell you want to do.
I just want to be clear that these kids keep doing these pranks, and then when they get all their fucking teeth knocked down their throat,
that's the problem. That is the entire problem.
Yeah.
You think that everybody played with. They don't.
Yeah, everybody is not to be played with. And, you know, even you know, some people are going to be like, oh, you know, he thought you was trying to touch him. Some people just don't want to be touched in the store like that by randoms. And then you're going to say something. And baby, you might be tall, but you look like you are made of sticks. That older gentleman who probably is in his 30s or 40s looks like he would fold you like fresh laundry.
And he's a target. You're 19 tall. All you a whole bunch of legs.
And you got on them ugly ass, no traction ass, Kanye plastic alien looking shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just letting the internet know right now. If one of you homos or one of you kids try to do this to me, I will punch you dead in your chest. I will not punch you in your chest. I will punch you through your chest. Hey, Dylan, happy birthday.
Congratulations, happy birthday.
Okay, here we go.
That's it.
Now, when you turn 18, you can do what the hell you want to do. But while you are living under my roof, you will do exactly as I say.
Let me get behind me right quick. Hold on.
Get behind you real quick. Did this motherfucker just walk up on me?
Girl, you can't be fucking saying fucking wrong with these motherfucking cameras. Girl, what is wrong with you?
Fuck it, I don't care.
Okay, fuck it.
Well, she's not gonna be living under your roof. She's gonna be living with me.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Take that one. Yeah, you are gonna respect me. I am talking to my daughter.
Damn, girl, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, mama. We rolling those.
This is another one. You know, the kids be talking mad shit.
So I watched this last night.
Was it good?
This series. It's called She the People.
Yeah.
It's the Tyler Perry series. But secondly, on my side, echo, you got two screens maybe echoing back. I'm hearing. But is anybody just hearing me? But okay. All right. But yeah, she shot at him, and he stood in front of her like he was getting ready to do something.
Like he was getting ready to do something. And then what was you gonna do? She punched you dead in your nose, and now you crying like a little bitch. Yeah, Epic, you're the one that's echoing, apparently.
The echo started when you turned on this part.
Yeah, Epic is reverbing and echoing.
Yeah.
Luckily, this is episode 299, so we only got to deal with this for one more episode, and it's a live show.
All right.
Let me tell you why she hopped up real quick. Because if she had taken her ass home and told her mama that she rode her bike down 4 flights, let me tell you why she walked in, why she hopped right up and acted like that was wrong. Because this child might have been born 5-7 years ago, but her mother was born in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, and was like, "You did what?" Because how many, raise your hand if you rode your bike down that trail you know you weren't supposed to, and you almost died a couple of times, but you had to run in that house like your leg wasn't half broke, because if you had told your mother what you had done, she would have beat your ass all over again.
This reminds me. It's
giving me flashbacks.
I was riding down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
That goes towards the
back of
my house, and at the end
of the hill was a creek.
And I'm riding
down the hill.
Front brake, back brake.
Mm-hmm.
As I get down the hill, guess which brake I grabbed?
You grabbed the front brake and go ass overhead.
Baby. Almost went into the creek. But I didn't. But my janky ass cousin was sitting there like, damn! Laughed the entire motherfucking night. I was so mad. So mad.
Well, I got one for you. So my there was, calling it a forest fire is, not, but there was definitely a fire in the underbrush. And so we was all like, "You want to go see a fire?" So bitch, we rode our bikes into the forest to see a fire. And when we came back, my mother was like, "Why do you smell like smoke?" It's like, so-and-so was barbecuing. Because I knew if I had told her, yeah, we went into the, you remember those sirens you heard? That was, we was there. We saw the fire in the forest and shit. The way I would have got my ass beat, it wouldn't have been funny.
No.
Another one.
Bay windows on a house.
Mm-hmm.
The same cousins that laughed at me. When we used to get together, it was always a good time for our concern, but it was always a bad time when we got noticed. This particular evening, we decided to throw rocks at this bay window. And when we threw rocks, we heard the beginning of the song Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And hot water. and running to the back of the house. And it was one of those back doors that dragged around my grandfather sat there with his legs crossed. And we all came in. And he looked at us and shaking his head. I don't know what the fuck that is. But y'all did something going. It wasn't even 20 minutes. That woman came and knocked on my door. Listen.
I have an answer for you, eccentric.
Eccentric.
I'm so hood.
Me and my cousin, I'm telling you, we were horrible.
Hood.
When the three of us got together, it was me, my cousin, Donnell, and Scooby. Brothers. Me and Scooby are 2 months apart. Donnell and I are 2 years apart. So here it is. We all around each other, all types of nonsense, and encouraging each other. Like jumping off the going out the window across the gazebo to then jump into the swimming pool, which was 5 feet at the end of the gazebo.
That's why your back fucked up now.
We were horrible. And the way my grandmother licked our asses up. And then when he went home, Mary Alice lit my ass.
Of course.
All right, you all, as requested, I'm back with another set of rules, this time just in time for Pride Month. These are the rules for those that do not support the LGBTQIA community. Rule number 1, nobody cares. Okay, we do not care that you don't like us. We are having a gay old time. Do you hear me, Ted? You and Nance might want to go sign up for like underwater basket weaving to occupy your time. Nobody cares. Rule number 2, shut up. Shut up. Do you hear me? If you see us out and about enjoying ourselves, enjoying life, you don't have to make your way over to us, Stacy, to let us know how you feel. Okay? Refer to number 1. We do not care. Okay? Number 3, move. Why are you at our Pride events with these signs like we care? Get out the way. We are throwing ass. We do not care. Move. Rule number 4, I'm going to read this slowly for you. Watch your mouth. Do you hear me? I don't care what this administration got you thinking. Do you hear me? You better watch who you talking to. Would you like to get stumped out by a group of femmes or a group of studs or a group of switches or a group of butches? Let me know. And number 5, go ahead and go to the house. Do you hear me? Go home and talk to one of your family members that is scared to come out to you. Go home and love on yourself. Find out why you got hate in your heart. Whatever you do, get out of our face, because we throwing ass all month long.
And watch your mouth.
Indeed.
Ever since I found out Harriet Tubman is not a real person, it fucked me up. Not gonna lie.
I decided to just hop in here real quick because this video is not for the lady who made this, because I think she's made her mind up that Harriet Tubman is like a fairy tale creature. But I do want to discuss the issues for someone, because I see a lot of the comments are like, "Oh my God, I knew it." Like this comment really gagged me. So let's unpack it.
Because her real name is Araminta Ross.
Yeah, she was born Araminta Ross. But people change their names all the time, right? Like, we know this. So when you get to freedom, you want to change your name, because they're often looking for enslaved people by their names, and you can't go and say your name is the same name that it was when you were an enslaved person, or they might find you. So she took her husband's last name, Tubman, and her mother's name, Harriet, and created the name Harriet Tubman.
And she was a spy for the United States government.
This part is true. Harriet Tubman was a spy for the U.S. government, but I think you're making it seem more sinister than it actually is. So Harriet Tubman worked for the Union, the North, to help free enslaved people in the South, because remember, the United States was too low-key to governments at the time. So she led a mission called the Combahee River Raid, which freed, historians are estimating, somewhere between 500 and 800 people in one night, while raiding 3 different plantations, and offering the enslaved people an opportunity to join her and go to the next place to fight for the freedom of their brothers and their sisters and their fellow enslaved people. So yes, she was a spy for the U.S. military, but not the way she's making it sound. So when the slaves were being freed, it was never because Abraham Lincoln was an abolitionist. He was not. It was done just to cripple the South, because they were using free labor, slave labor, to build their economy. So to be clear, the United States, the North, Abraham Lincoln, they were not like, we are just so anti-slavery. They just wanted to cripple the South and make them lose the war.
And they want us to look up and idolize these people. Oh, well, they look just like me, so I must look up to them. Stop that shit immediately.
Black Americans have every right to question the U.S. government. I firmly believe that, considering all they've done to us, the lies they've told us. That being said, everything's not a trick. There have been a lot of tricks. Everything isn't a trick. Now I'm looking at the comments, right? Like this comment I mentioned earlier. Harriet Tubman has descendants. Harriet Tubman didn't have children, but Harriet Tubman does have living relatives. They've written books. This is a book by one of her living descendants or one of her living relatives. So Harriet Tubman absolutely has very living relatives. And now I'm looking at videos like this one.
Finally, someone's talking about it, because I just was saying this the other day to someone. Hear me out. That shit does not make any sense. Why would you be taking slaves underground in tunnels?
The Underground Railroad was not under the ground. It wasn't sub-earth. It wasn't below the earth. It was underground, like it was a secret. You know, that was how it was underground, but it was there were not tunnels going from Maryland to Canada. There is a YouTuber named FD Signifier who I strongly recommend you watch his videos. He's great. But he's coined this term called pseudo-intellectual Negro nonsense. And that's what this is. Now, I want to be clear. I am not.
So I know that was a long one, right? But when I saw it, I was like, what? People think
really
Harriet
believe
Tubman was a fiction? I was just like, oh my God. And that raccoon-eyed woman said with her whole chest, hear me out, because it never made sense. Like, why would you take people through tunnels? It's like, bitch. I thought when said that,
sit down.
And I was like, you know, Portia, money, father, parent, family got a little money. She's playing the dumb black blonde, but people actually believe this shit. And I'm just like, and you know, my new thing, I'm going to get a shirt that says pseudo intellectual Negro nonsense on it with like a circle and a slash through it, you know, because baby, you know what? That's what our barber does. It's pseudo intellectual Negro nonsense. It equals hotepery.
I have not had a discussion in God knows how long. But please don't speak it up and bring it into existence, because I don't have the patience. I don't.
You know, when he does it, you just say, "Hey, buddy, this is pseudo intellectual Negro nonsense."
No, I usually want to say, just shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear this shit. That's what I say. And I don't want to say it out loud because like I said, I'm fighting every day about what it comes out of. And it comes out as, hey, could you just
shut the fuck up and cut my hair?
Like I'm not like
last one.
Put your hands on me, nigga. What I tell you, huh? What I tell you? Fuck with me, bitch. Hey, let the kid out. Now get the fuck up. No, knock your ass out here, bitch.
That tickles me so much, because that was what was about to happen to that first young man that we saw. You know, these kids got all of this bravado, not realizing that they don't weigh but a whole nickel.
Baby.
And that older gentleman, I'm not sure if He was definitely an older gentleman. I'm thinking he's like his 50s or 60s or whatever. Baby, he threw that man to the ground, kneeled on his arm so he could not get up, and pummeled his face.
He didn't pummel his face. He was slapping the shit out of his face. Like it was insulting the way he was slapping his motherfucking face.
Yeah. More people need to get their ass beaten, maybe they'll learn to shut the fuck up.
Listen, now the echo's gone. Yay! But I agree. I definitely agree.
So you got some stories for us, Puddin' Pot?
I do. What's going on with Diddy news? We're gonna start with that. So listen, remember that he is facing 5 criminal counts, 1 of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. But today they had a young lady by the name of Brianna Bongolan, who allegedly Diddy dangled her over an apartment balcony. She was on the stand today testifying, and she was a witness. She testified that he held her over the 17th story balcony in 2016 before throwing her onto the balcony's furniture. The defense here tried to discredit her memory of the alleged incident. His attorney, or Diddy's attorney, said or insinuated that the questions that Bongolian couldn't answer or recall from which direction the defendant came at her or what she might have been smoking at that time, and that she admitted and said, "I don't remember." They're trying to use that to try to throw it out, to say that she wasn't a credible witness. But the other part of this is, once it happened, she eventually wound up suing him for $10 million. And one of the prosecution asked her, because she's saying that she's had so much trauma and so much emotional damage from this incident, they asked her, would she give up the $10 million for this incident to have never happened? And she said, absolutely yes, like unequivocally. She's just like, absolutely yes. She did, like I said, she testified that she was working for Cassie Ventura at that particular time in 2023, after all of that had happened. And she was saying how when they reconnected at that particular point, that they talked about the incidents and some things that happened. And she also knew that Cassie was going to take him to court and file charges against him. And she wanted to know if she can use her name in a lawsuit. She said no. But again, the testimony that she gave today, while it showed some really crazy behavior, there was another piece of the testimony that she mentioned and she referred to that was for her and Cassie, saying how they were a little high back at that time. They were doing like ketamine and other drugs. And so again, this is part of the reason why they were trying to discredit her, and they wanted to try to throw this whole testimony out and a couple other things out as well. But unfortunately, it didn't. It's still standing as of right now. But that's what I got as far as today with this Diddy news for this 4th of June today. There's another story that has come out about our current administration and the president, 47. And I like to call it this, when he got elected, it was the whole thing of everybody's talking about, well, fuck around and find out. So in this week's edition of Fuck Around and Find Out, the kids are fighting. Elon and Trump are fighting.
Oh no.
Right. Elon is attacking Trump's bill with a barrage of posts on X, slamming this bill, saying that if you read it, you really shouldn't be able to stomach it. And he is using X to use his over 200 million followers to try to get them to call their senators, and trying to not get this bill to be pushed through. Well, here's the thing. This bill is not going to work for the wealthy because it is talking about in the bill calling for an end to tax credits. But more recently, with his company Tesla, they become an opponent of removing this provision from this bill.
Yeah, because if there are no tax credit for,
there's no incentive to purchase,
then there's no incentive to purchase that vehicle, because that vehicle is expensive as shit. And he's like, without that, I think it's like a $7,500 incentive. And if you don't get that incentive, people are gonna be like, yeah,
absolutely not. So, and then the other part of that is there was another deal about artificial intelligence, and Trump was trying to, Musk is getting frustrated with Trump about the administration striking artificial intelligence deals with the competitor of his company, OpenAI. And so there have been some disagreements also on trade policy. Musk has been calling.
Which is crazy to me that you would think that the federal government policies should favor one company over another and not foster a competitive environment.
That's called a monopoly. And
yes.
So, yeah, okay.
Sorry, I'm not saying that to you, like, yes, but I'm like agreeing with you, like, that's what the fuck.
No. So, he's calling some of the legislators morons and Senator dumb, and they've been having disagreements, and he was really calling for them to rewrite the bill. The legislators were saying, like, we don't have time to, write this bill over again. Like, we got stuff to do. Like, this is a perfectly good bill. We're trying to get as much things in here as possible. The normal rhetoric that people are going to give to try to push stuff through and make it sound better than what it actually is, or worse than what it actually is. I shouldn't say, well, yeah, and depending on which side you're on, or worse than it actually is. But at this particular point, it still stands. We are still trying to push this through. But again, Elon is not very happy, because while he may have pushed for Donald Trump to be in the office, he may have hoped to come out this as a fat cat and make a lot of money. It doesn't look like he's making a whole lot of money, or is going to, and he's also losing money because, again, stock in Tesla and a couple of his businesses have gone down, and his net worth, like, all these things are not working in his favor. So this, again, goes into those files of fuck around and find out. You think it's going to be better over there? Okay, well, all right, let's get it together. And so this is where we are. There's been also a lot of conversation on this next story, which I find ironic, because we just reported last week about a young lady that took 583 loads, but this particular person took 96 loads. A man by the name of Keith, his screen name is, or social media handle is Keith Kills. He took 96 loads in DC, and people are talking about it all over social media like it's the biggest thing since sliced bread. And I don't quite understand it, because, again, while someone did 583, he did 96, but okay. He's a porn star, and it's been a topic of conversation. So I don't know how everybody feels about that, but I know we've talked about it. I have problems with his name, number one. The whole idea of Keith Kills, it just bothers me. Something about that just bothers me. It's like you're labeling yourself as, like, yeah, it's bothering me. But anyway, anybody has thoughts or feelings or comments on this young man filming that he got 96 loads in his behind?
I don't get into grown folks' business.
Yeah, I
watch his stuff sometimes. Sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's not. So
he's a pretty boring lay to me, if you ask me, because he just kind of like,
that's why I say sometimes it's it's cute, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, he just kind of, but okay, whatever. On to more important stuff, the fascinating stuff. Birthdays this week. In the past week, Clint Eastwood turned 95. Pat Boone turned 91. Bruce Dern turned 89. Morgan Freeman celebrated birthday. He was 88. Stacy Keach, 84. Joe Namath, 82, along with Sharon Gless. Singer-actor Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and Papas turned 81. Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver is 77. Denise Williams is 75, along with Gregory Harrison and Tom Berenger, as well as the incomparable Reby Jackson. Also, Parker Stevenson turns 73. Singer Ronnie Dunn of Brooks and Dunn is 72. Dennis Haysbert turns 71, from the Allstate, the State Farm commercial, You're in Good Hands with the deep voice. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He's turned 71. Dana Carvey turns 70. Bassist Michael Steele of the Bangles is 70. Keith David turned 69. You might remember him from being the father, I think it is, in Green Tree or Greenleaf, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then there's another Jackson that is celebrating a birthday. It is the world-renowned LaToya Jackson who's celebrating her birthday.
Yes.
She is 68. So listen, here's the thing. We know Joe and Catherine was always screwing somewhere around that September, October time.
That must have been their anniversary.
Baby, because, Janet and then Reby and then LaToya and I don't know who else is. But again, that's where we are. So actor Roma Mafia from Nip Tuck and The Profiler is 67. I don't know if you remember her. She was the anesthesiologist, I believe. I think that was her title in the show.
I don't remember her, but sure.
She's the woman with the brown curly hair, the Latino woman, I believe. I thought.
Oh, okay. I think I vaguely remember who you're talking about.
Yeah. Ted McGinley from Married with Children. He's 67. That's all he is 67. Annette Bening turned 67.
Mm-hmm. Rupert Everett only 67.
Listen, I'm just reporting it. This is where we are. Rupert Everett is 66. Comedian Chris Elliott turned 65. Tony Hadley from Spandau Ballet, which I used to love that group, 65. Melissa Etheridge is 64, along with Leah Thompson, and also Ralph Carter from Good Times. Comedian Mark Curry is also 64, along with El DeBarge, who turned 64. Tanya Pinkins, the actor and filmmaker, and she was in All My Children as well, 63. Corey Hart is 63. Lisa Whelchel is 62. James Purefoy turns 61, along with DMC of Run DMC, who turned 61. Country singer Winona Judd turns 61. Director Antoine Fuqua turns 60, along with Brooke Shields. TV host Anderson Cooper turns 58. Albie Shore turns 57, along with Andy Cohen from Housewives, Bravo, Everything, Real Housewives. Actor Anthony Aziza from The Matrix and Lost is 56. Terry Polo from Meet the Parents is 56. Comedian Horatio Sands turns 56. Rapper B Real of Cypress Hill is 55. Singer and actress Idina Menzel turns 54, along with Noah Wiley. Wayne Brady and Laverne Cox both celebrate birthdays, and they turn 53. Heidi Klum, as well as Life Jennings, turn 52. Alanis Morissette is 51. Cartoonist Aaron Magruder from the Boondocks is 51. Scary Spice, Melanie Brown, is 50. Merle Dandridge from Greenleaf is 50, along with Angelina Jolie. She turns 50, as well as Russell Brand. Colin Farrell is 48. Why did I feel like he was older than 48? Zachary Quinto is 48. Marina Baccarin, who was in the reboot of V, which I think she's a beautiful woman. Yeah. She turns 46. Rapper Remy Ma turns 45. Amy Schumer turns 44. Model Bar Rafaela turns 40. Waka Flocka Flame turns 39. Javicia Leslie, who was the black girl on the WB for Batgirl, I think it was. She turns 38. Aquafina, who turns 37. Riley Keough turns 36. Actor Zazie Beetz, she was in Deadpool as what was the black girl with the afro? I can't think of her name right now. It was like Percentages or something. I can't think of, or she was Lucky. But anyway, Normani turns 29, as well as Maria Bakalova turns 29 as well this week. Other birthdays this week: John Barrymore, the actor, Drew Barrymore's, I think it's her grandfather, I think it was. Gorilla Monsoon, the wrestler. Josephine Baker, Josephine. Allen Ginsberg, the poet. Chuck Barris, the game show host. The Marquis de Sade, they have him as a philosopher. Andy Griffiths is an actor, had a birthday. Don Amici, Walt Whitman, Benny Goodman, Bob Evans, Bob Hope, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, former president. Al Unser, Indy racer. Gail Sayers, Hall of Fame running back, and was also a Kappa. Jake the Snake Roberts, and my mama turned 81. Happy birthday, love, or happy belated birthday. Didn't have any social media slays, but I'm gonna go ahead and point these out to you as well for news of the weird. 3 men came to blows on May 16th at a CSL Plasma in Wilkes-Barre Township, Pennsylvania, after one of them let one rip while standing in line. Chaz Pearson, 39, was standing behind an elderly man who dropped a bomb and then apologized. But and this part really stinks, the article says. Pearson allegedly struck the man in the head, and when the man's son stepped in, hit him too. Pearson faces charges of simple assault, harassment, and disorderly conduct. This next story, East Shoreham, New York, a homeowner who started the happy task of uncovering the backyard pool for the summer on May 25th was shocked to find a man's body in the water. The Suffolk County medical examiner has yet to identify the body or discover how he died, but officials said it may be Matthew Zoll, 23, who has been on the run since stabbing his father to death in November in Rockyport, New York. A neighbor, Paul Garriluk, Paul, the neighbor, he said he wondered why somebody would try to get under the pool cover. It's not a smart thing to do. Do you think he tried to get under the pool cover, or did somebody put him there? What? But okay.
No, I think that he was on the run and decided to hide there and slipped and fell, or some shit happened and he ended up drowning.
And that part, but you know, he's like, it's not a smart thing to do. Why would I try to get under the pool cover? What? You're trying to make logic out of, but okay. Anyway. And then here's some news you can use. If you're one of those impatient flyers who's up out of the seat as soon as the wheels touch the ground, you better not land in Turkey. The New York Times reported on May 28th that Turkey will now fine passengers who leave their seats before the plane has stopped taxiing to the tune of about $67. The Turkish Directorate General of Civil Aviation said the banned behavior includes unfastening seatbelts, opening overhead compartments, and moving into the aisle before your return. So be careful on your next trip to Turkey and not get up out of your seat. But it is kind of annoying. When people as soon as the plane lands, all you hear is click, 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 and everybody getting up, and it's like, you know, we can still kind of get hurt, but okay. And you still can't get off the plane because you're at the back, and you've got to wait till everybody else get off at the front. But I digress. But anyway,
they be trying it, and I'm like, girl, just sit your ass down, please.
And I will purposely stand in the aisle while I get my shit. Be like, all right, well, listen, you can hold on for just a minute. But that's all of the stories I got for this week, and I will still keep you posted on some other stuff that pops up, Diddy news as well, and any other news. But I do want to say this. I've heard, now I don't know if this is true or not, and help me out if anybody knows this is true. I've heard reports that on some social media stuff that R. Kelly was pardoned.
By who?
47. Again, we don't know if it's true, but again, if anybody's heard something, let me know.
Let's go to the news. I don't see nothing, so it must not be true yet.
Listen,
because that would be big news, but you know,
I would think so.
That it would be big news?
That it would be, yes, I would think it would be big news.
I just said I didn't think so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, you know, as a reminder, there is no show next week on the 11th, and our next show, our 300th episode, will be on Saturday, June 21st.
Woo!
And it will be a live show, meaning that you can actually come and see us and celebrate in person. We'll be sending out information on that by this weekend. So you have 2 hours to get your life together and get here to be a part of the festivities. Woohoo!
And we're dancing and partying and bullshit and dancing.
Well, all right, baby. I am tired. I need to wrap this up and get something to eat, and then, you know, settle it down for the night.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry. I don't know what I want to eat.
Me too, but I feel like I'm just going to eat a couple of eggs and maybe some bacon and call it a night.
breakfast is good. That could work.
Oh, and I had, you know what? Pepper's Farm makes lemon blueberry bread.
And you gonna put that bacon egg on a sandwich?
No, I was going to toast it up.
I would say if you toast it up like 2 pieces of bread and then put the egg.
I mean, you could. That is definitely an option, but that was not what I was thinking about.
Okay. All right.
Per se.
Well, anyway, listen, I'm gonna need everybody to be safe out there. Dylan, please enjoy your birthday and celebrate. Do everything that you should be doing and should not be doing. I need everybody else to celebrate.
We'll see you. If we don't see you on Saturday at the parade, we'll see you on Sunday at brunch.
Yes. And I want everybody, listen, it's still 30 days of Epic. I'm still partying. I'm out here. I'm posting stuff on Facebook. I didn't post anything last night because I was kind of enjoying the moment that I was having. I'm gonna leave that alone. And we're gonna see what's gonna happen tonight.
Tell us about the moment.
It was a moment. I'm gonna leave it alone. It was a moment. That's it. Some stuff I ain't gotta talk about. It was a moment though, but it was good. It was a moment.
All right.
I enjoyed
all right, kids. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you and good night.
Peace.
Bye.